The galaxy had never seen a species like the Zorathians. Their empire spanned 1,000 stars, their fleets darkened entire nebulae, and their warriors were bred for one purpose: conquest. For millennia, they crushed every civilization they encountered, absorbing their technology, their resources, and their pride. The Zorathian High Council, a circle of ancient minds melded into a single crystalline intelligence, declared their dominion absolute. No species had ever withstood their wrath. When they discovered Earth, a pale blue speck in an unremarkable spiral arm, they saw nothing but another footnote in their annals of victory. The Zorathians sent their best, a fleet of 10,000 warships, each a kilometer long, bristling with plasma lances and graviton disruptors. Leading them was Grand Marshal Virak, a warrior whose carapace bore the scars of 100 campaigns. His lieutenants were the elite of the elite, cybernetic hybrids fused with the finest combat algorithms, their minds linked to the Council's will. The Armada descended on Sol's outer rim, expecting a swift annihilation. They broadcast a single message: surrender or be erased. Earth's response was silence. On Earth, humanity was fractured but unbroken. Nations squabbled, climate shifted, and war simmered, but beneath the chaos burned a spark the Zorathians could not comprehend. In bunkers beneath deserts, in orbital stations, and in makeshift labs hidden in city sprawls, humans prepared. They had no unified fleet, no world government, just a patchwork of militaries, corporations, and rogue scientists who'd spent decades reverse engineering alien tech scavenged from crashed probes. When the Zorathian Armada appeared, humanity didn't flinch. They got to work. The first clash came at Pluto's orbit. Zorathian scouts, cloaked in fields that bent light and sensors, probed for weaknesses. They found none, because humanity didn't fight like they expected. Instead of grand fleets, the humans deployed swarms of drones, each no larger than a coffin, rigged with fusion warheads and piloted by AI fragments trained on millennia of human warfare. The drones didn't aim for ships. They targeted exhaust ports, sensor arrays, and reactor vents. 1,000 tiny cuts bled the Zorathian vanguard dry. Virak dismissed it as a fluke. He pressed deeper. At Neptune, the humans unveiled their next surprise. Asteroid belts had been laced with electromagnetic mines, each a repurposed fusion generator, jury-rigged to detonate in sequence. When Zorathian cruisers moved to secure the planet's moons, the mines triggered, creating a cascade of plasma that incinerated half a fleet. Virak's lieutenants reported losses, their neural links crackling with confusion. The Council demanded answers. How could a species with no standing armada inflict such damage? Virak doubled his advance, certain the humans were exhausting their tricks. They weren't. At Saturn, humanity's orbital habitats, once civilian stations for mining and research, revealed their true purpose. Retrofitted with railguns and stolen Zorathian shield tech, the stations became fortresses. When Virak's ships engaged, they were met with barrages of tungsten slugs accelerated to relativistic speeds. Entire cruisers vanished in blooms of molten metal. The Zorathians adapted, deploying countershields, but the humans had anticipated this. From Titan's surface, they launched stealth missiles guided by quantum entanglement, bypassing shields entirely. Virak lost a quarter of his forces in hours. He roared defiance, but doubt crept into his circuits. The Council, watching through Virak's feeds, grew restless. They ordered a direct assault on Earth. No more probing, no more caution, just overwhelming force. The Armada regrouped at Jupiter, expecting a final stand. Instead, they found nothing. No fleets, no defenses, just silence. Virak's sensors screamed warnings as his ships entered the asteroid belt. Humanity had turned the entire region into a kill zone. Automated platforms, disguised as debris, unleashed antimatter beams. Civilian freighters, retrofitted with cloaking tech, rammed Zorathian dreadnoughts, their crews sacrificing themselves to detonate onboard reactors. The Armada shrank to a third of its strength. Virak, now desperate, pushed toward Mars. The red planet was humanity's forge, its surface dotted with factories that churned out weapons day and night. When the Zarathians landed to seize the planet, they faced not soldiers, but mechs, hulking machines piloted by volunteers linked via neural implants. Each mech was a walking arsenal, its frame packed with nanite swarms that disassembled Zarathian armor on contact. Virak's ground forces, bred for perfection, crumbled against humans who fought with no regard for their own survival. A single human pilot, her mech half destroyed, detonated its core to take out an entire Zarathian battalion. Her name, broadcast on open channels, was Maria Alvarez. The Zarathians learned to fear it. The Council's crystalline mind fractured with rage. They sent reinforcements, another fleet, larger than the first. But Earth had been watching, learning, adapting. Human scientists working in hidden labs cracked the Zarathian communication protocols. They hacked the Armada's neural network, sowing chaos. Ships fired on each other, mistaking allies for enemies. Virak's lieutenants turned on him, their programming corrupted by human viruses that whispered of freedom. The Second Fleet arrived only to find the first in ruins. The final stand came at Earth's moon. Humanity had turned Luna into a fortress, its surface bristling with particle cannons and mass drivers. The Zarathians now, a shadow of their former strength, faced a united humanity. Every nation, every faction had poured their resources into the defense. Civilians manned turrets, children relayed messages, and elders offered strategies drawn from centuries of war. Virak, alone now, led the charge. His flagship, the Pride of Zorath, was a leviathan of destruction. It fell in minutes, torn apart by a coordinated strike from lunar batteries and a kamikaze fleet of repurposed shuttles. When the dust settled, not a single Zarathian ship remained. The Council, light years away, received no reports, no signals. Their best had vanished. On Earth, humanity mourned their losses but stood taller. They hadn't just survived. They'd rewritten the galaxy's rules. The Zarathians, for the first time in their history, faced a truth they could not comprehend. Humans didn't fight to win. They fought to endure. Word of Earth's victory spread. Alien empires, once dismissive, now watched in silence. The Zarathian Council, its unity shattered, debated retreat. But humanity wasn't done. From the ashes of the war, they built their own fleets, not to conquer, but to ensure no one would dare challenge them again. The galaxy learned a lesson: provoke humanity, and none return.